Alright, so in keeping with my recent theme of dirt track race cars, I'm going to use this Hot Wheels A-OK and turn it into something like this. It's a Ford Model A sedan delivery, not quite sure of the year, and probably they never really had a exact year in mind when they made this casting. So pull it apart and see what we find. We definitely won't need this fender / interior bit, and the radiator is going to need to come off the front of that motor. I'm going to use these greenlight all-terrain wheels. I will also cut off the ends of the bumpers here, as they will only be in our way. So I use a Dremel tool with the round grinder thing, not sure what you call that, and I'll clean up those bumper ends, and I will also grind off the front wheel little hub things that are in the casting. I'll file all that smooth so it's nice and clean. Like I said, the radiator will have to come off the motor, otherwise it doesn't look right. I'll use a razor saw and use the radiator as a guide and just cut right down through it, leaving the front pulley section of the motor on. It's pretty good. I'm making a guard out of some bent wire. Mounted on front, it's just super glued on. This is a radiator from an HO scale bulldozer kit that I scavenged. I'm going to use it as the radiator on this car. It's much thinner and smaller profile and actually more to scale than the original. I also ground the cowling on the bottom side so that it doesn't have the bulky look for the cowling that was very unrealistic. This looks more thin and not quite as thin as it should be, but way more to scale and just nicer. To clean up these wheels, I run them through a rolled up piece of 220 grit sandpaper to get the burrs off the inside. Can take some time. Don't use too heavy a grit or you'll really tear the wheels up. I then roll them on the sidewall and tread side edge to get the burrs off there. It makes them much more realistic looking. And I'll also grind on the tread quite a bit to get any burrs off of them. They look a lot nicer after you do this. I highly recommend it. The car gets a quick paint job. It's going to be yellow. It'll be all weathered down to make it look old and raced here. This is a privateer's car, nothing fancy, so the paint job's not going to be fancy at all. These are more model railroading decals I'm going to use just to get the number on the car. I cut out this number 90 here, make it round so that the decal edges don't stand out. These ancient decals didn't want to come off the card at all, but they eventually did, and Old Yeller number 90 is born. I went over it with weathering powders or pigments, however you want to call them. They're Tamiya product. You've seen many times by other people and in 1 or 2 videos of mine even. I start with the darkest rust and go lighter and work my way up to the dust colors, will just blend all the colors together. Things that look in high contrast in the beginning will be dulled down. You'll barely notice this rust in the end because I don't really want it to be rusty, as race cars generally aren't rusty things. Here I'm using a sand color. It kind of blends down the rust. As you can see, it almost makes it disappear. In the camera you can almost hardly see it. over all the wheels pretty liberally with this stuff, and then rub most of it off. And a shout out to Bare Metal Hot Wheels, some Nuln oil, like in almost every one of his videos. My son were at the hobby store the other weekend and he saw that and was like, we absolutely have to get that. We've been watching the guy use it for a long time now, so now we got our own. Pretty happy with this for a little one day thrown together thing. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll have something up again soon.